Thank you, Madam Chair, for allowing me to wave onto this committee, and thank all the witnesses here. You know, it's real easy to profile and just say, oh, you're a gun manufacturer, you're an awful person, a terrible person. But that's not always the case. In fact, that's never the case. And I just want to make sure you understand, Daniel Defense is one of the major employers in my district that I have the honor and privilege of representing, the 1st Congressional District of Georgia. They provide many jobs, many well-paying jobs in our community, and they're great jobs that provide people with the opportunity to produce a great product and to be reimbursed for that product and for the fine work that they do. Mr. Daniel, before I get into a couple of questions, I noticed that you've been asked time and time again during this hearing about some ads involving children, and you haven't really had the opportunity to respond to them about the intent of what. And I want to just give you that opportunity if you wanted to comment on some of those ads and what exactly you had in mind when you were doing that.
Thank you, Congressman. This photo was taken by a parent who was teaching their child what a gun was. And as you notice in the photo, the parent's hand was right in the photo. The gun was unloaded. This child was being taught that you can't touch a gun without an adult. This is personal responsibility that I've been trying to talk about. Parents must teach their children how to handle firearms properly. Just as you would teach a child not to get behind the driver's seat of a car and crank it and drive away, you must teach children. We must teach children to be safe with firearms.
And Mr. Daniel, as I know all too well, you have your company's been very involved in the community and in our district. In fact, I believe you sponsor a number of high school teams, shooting teams, and you're involved in youth groups like that. Is that true?
Yes, sir. We actually started a foundation called Double D Foundation. The purpose of the foundation is to help train young people how to use firearms safely and how to compete with firearms.
And it'd be easy to just profile, as I said earlier, and label you as an awful person who is just trying to get guns into the hands of kids, but quite the opposite. You're trying to teach safety and actually helping young people. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, sir.
Well, let me ask you this. You bought this company, is that right?
What was the question, sir?
How did this company get started? Daniel Defense.
I started shooting with an AR-15 and a handgun in the late 90s as I had grown up hunting but never done any self-defense training. I had an AR-15 and a handgun, and I started training for self-defense, and I realized how effective the AR-15 was for self-defense. I wanted some parts for the guns that I had that nobody made, and I talked to the company, and they would not make the 4 parts I needed. I talked them into making 100. I would have to sell 96 to get the 4 parts I wanted, and those were the first parts we sold in 2001. And then we sold the very first gun that we made in 2009.
And how many people do you employ now in your business?
About 400 people, sir.
So it went from a company that you started in your garage, from what I understand, to where you're providing for 400 families.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And not only that, but also teaching safety to children, to young people, and giving them the opportunity to compete and to learn and to really grow. Is that true?
Yes, sir, and to become responsible adults and know how to handle firearms.
Well, tell me very quickly, what is a job like? What does a job at Daniel Defense look like? I mean, tell me about the typical job at Daniel Defense.
We are vertically integrated, so we manufacture almost every part in the gun. So there's all types of manufacturing jobs, all types of engineering jobs, all types of manufacturing engineering jobs. We do everything here, assembly jobs. We are very diverse in the jobs we offer, and we are one of the highest paying employers we're the highest in our county and one of the highest in our region.
Well, thank you, Mr. Daniel, for your commitment to our community, and thank you for being a witness here today, and I yield back.
The gentleman